was a typical boring day in calculus class. It was Friday, 7th period, the week was almost over, and spring break was right around the corner. Everyone was restless, waiting for the bell to ring. We didn't have a test that day, unlike most of my friends in other classes. So our teacher, who was pretty chill, decided to let us play games on Sporkle. We were in the middle of a brand logo quiz. I still remember the moment clearly. My friend had just answered, Adidas, when the dean's voice came over the loudspeaker. He sounded panicked and out of breath. "This is not a drill," he said. "Go into lockdown." Instant chills ran through me. Even our usually calm teacher looked terrified as he quickly shut off the lights and told us to move to the back corner of the room. We sat in complete silence for about 2 minutes. Then the faint buzzing sound from a control panel in the back of the room stopped. The power had been cut. That's when we realized this was serious. A few minutes later, we heard a man screaming in the hallway. His voice was angry, wild, and getting closer. 2 girls in class started crying, which made everyone even more scared. The man began slamming on the lockers, shouting, "I'll kill all of you." That's when I truly thought I might die. Our teacher whispered for us to stay quiet as we all froze, listening. Then, the banging moved from the lockers to our classroom door. One of the crying girls screamed, "No," and the pounding got louder. The man yelled, "Open up," over and over. It felt like forever before the noise finally faded. The man kept shouting as he moved down the hallway until we couldn't hear him anymore. Maybe 10 minutes passed, though it felt like 30. Before the dean's voice returned over the intercom, he explained that a mentally unstable man had entered the school and attacked the woman at the front desk. She managed to escape, screaming for help. No one knew if the man was armed. Back then, the school didn't have cameras or real security. It was basically wide open for something like this to happen. After the staff searched every hallway and classroom without finding him, the dean told teachers to keep teaching, but keep all doors locked and not let anyone leave. The most disturbing part came later. A janitor working the night shift reportedly found the man asleep in a storage closet at the back of the school. Rumor had it that the .44 Magnum was sticking out of his pocket. The janitor must have startled him because by the time police arrived, the man had vanished. To this day, no one in my class knows if he was ever caught. I just hope that wherever he is now, he's getting the help he desperately needs. My school has 2 lunch periods. First lunch is for all 6th graders and some 7th graders. Second lunch is for the other 7th graders and all 8th graders. The lockdown happened in early October on an overcast, rainy day. During first lunch I heard 4 loud booms. I thought it was thunder. But the whole lunch crowd started screaming. At first I figured those kids were overreacting, but campus security rushed in and yelled for everyone to go into the multi-purpose room. Kids who were in line buying lunch had to toss their food and come inside. My friends and I went in with a huge group. The multi-purpose room is massive and the back wall is made of see-through glass. As soon as we were rushed in, security pulled the curtains shut and adults took positions at every exit. My friend Eric asked one of the adults what was going on. When he came back he said, "You know those houses right in front of TMS?" I said, "Yeah." And he told us a mentally unstable man had barricaded himself in front of one of those houses. He was threatening to kill himself and to shoot cops if they tried to evict him, and he'd been walking around outside the school watching kids in a creepy way. It got worse. The man turned out to be a registered sex offender. We were stuck in the multi-purpose room for an hour, which ended up taking up 2 class periods. After everything was cleared, staff escorted us back to our classrooms one by one. Later I found out the man lived next to my friend Brandy. She told me about the previous Halloween when she saw him at his window, cutting his arm and writing in his own blood, "Don't come here or I'll kill you." At the time everyone thought it was some Halloween freak out, but after this incident we realized how serious he was. We were all just grateful he never got near the school. I'm 22 years old, fresh out of college, and I recently got a job at my old high school as a computer intern working in the basement. The basement is a cluttered mess, but there's a small 3-person office down there that's actually really nice. It has 3 big desks, 2 mini fridges, a flat-screen TV mounted on the wall, and, best of all, ice, cold air conditioning, something no student or teacher in the school gets to enjoy. The office also houses all the school's servers and other computer equipment. I landed the job thanks to my 3 former computer teachers, who always liked me a lot. They weren't just teachers. I actually considered them friends. They all helped me get the position, and it had been great until a few weeks ago. That day, my 2 co-workers, Dave and Gary, weren't in the office. They were upstairs dealing with paperwork, while I was down there eating my sandwich during lunch. Then I got a phone call from one of the women in the front office. She told me the school was on lockdown. Someone possibly armed had entered the building. There wasn't much I could do. The office didn't even have a door, just a big open entrance, and the basement door itself didn't have a working lock. So for safety, I turned off the lights and my computer screen. I texted Gary and Dave, but neither of them responded. Sitting there in the dark, I just played on my phone for about 20 minutes, waiting for someone to tell me the lockdown was over. I couldn't hear a thing from upstairs and wasn't allowed to make any calls. Then the basement door creaked open. The sound echoed through the room. I froze. Someone started running down the stairs. Fast, the footsteps came closer and closer to the office. I pushed my chair aside and crawled under my desk. Whoever it was entered the room but didn't turn on the lights. Everything went silent. My heart was pounding so hard I thought whoever it was could hear it. Then my phone dinged with a text message. That sound felt like a death sentence. The footsteps came closer. Terrified, I crawled out from under the desk and begged whoever it was not to hurt me. A man grabbed my arm and pulled me up. He was wearing a red plaid shirt, jeans, and a reddish-black cap. "It's okay," he said quietly. "I'm just hiding down here too. What's going on upstairs?" I whispered back, asking who he was, but he ignored my question and asked if there was an exit down there. I pointed toward the back of the basement, then asked again who he was. After a pause, he said he'd come to pick up his son when a teacher told him to hide. That's when I finally checked my phone. The text was from Dave. It said, "Dude, this is insane. Some guy with a gun shot Mr. Buckley. He's wearing a red shirt and hat. Whatever you do, don't come upstairs." I looked up from my phone, and my stomach dropped. The man in front of me matched the exact description. He noticed the look on my face, and for a split second, we both froze. Then I bolted toward the stairs. A gunshot rang out, echoing through the basement. I heard the bullet ricochet off something metal, but by some miracle, it missed me. I sprinted upstairs as fast as I could. Thankfully, police were already waiting at all exits, including the basement. They caught the man as soon as he tried to leave. Even better, Mr. Buckley survived. It turned out the man and Mr. Buckley had some kind of personal feud, but no one ever found out the details. Whatever it was, it couldn't have justified what happened. And to this day, that single gunshot still echoes in my head.